Pixie is now left alone. A miracle is what he needs to get out of this situation, as another shield fish is going to be popped. The zone is going to be closing in as the pressure is on, and Pixie needs something crazy to happen.
And Pixie just needs to bail at this exchange. Pixie versus Pixovsky. There can only be one, essentially, and Pixovsky, Vanjkee, Vanjkee, they're going to defend their position quite handedly there. It's surprising as well because Marius, Vanya, there's a lot of fighting power in that trio. So for them to be so the hard mats expended does mean that Cringe, Mappy, and K, they feel confident that they're going to be able to make this transition for a high take.
I like that tarp, though. They went into the storm, ticked a bit of extra damage, but it's okay. They can re-heal it up later. They position themselves in the front now. Nobody can cut them off. As the Oni masks are coming through, a little bit of desperation as a potential build fight might even break out here. I don't know if you want to keep going up here, but looks like they might have been able to claim it. Nobody contesting. Better Cry in his trio here.
It's a duo at this point, though.
Yeah, it is.
Someone is bound to look up soon enough here, especially with some of the teams that we see down below. Marius struggling, though, getting a bit smothered here. Vanjkee trying to defend this high ground position alongside Vanjkee, just taking separate positions temporarily, spraying down onto secondary height. If you're going to try and hold it as a duo, you might as well front. Act like you are a trio in the process, doing a decent job of maintaining towards that front side of zone as well.
Doing a great job of applying pressure to those trios that are second height, and they know now when they build out ahead, their next move is to look back, take shots, but after being cracked, it just opens up another option for them to play more aggressive. Height is going to be given up, as now...
I was expecting from this trio, of course, coming out of Mars Meadows, having a really good drop spot there, uncontested. You'd expect them to do well, but yeah, it's nice to see them there in the top 3.
I mean, there's a couple other teams here I'm looking at, right? And I'm thinking, interesting consistency-wise, obviously, right? You look at UX trio, a bit of an unfortunate end for them, right? Because they're the team that ends up taking height, and they looked like in a decent spot to maybe hold it out. But then, like, you're also looking at them, and they didn't really have much. And then UX, he unfortunately went down in a bit of an unfortunate way there. But speaking of height, right? I look at Vanjkee, Pixovsky, and Batacry in this game, and they were, again, another example of sort of what we saw in game 1 from Cringe, Mappy, and Cade, where you have a team that takes height, and then, you know, they just haven't got enough in the tank to actually hold it out throughout the rest of the game, right? These guys, in this circumstance, were actually sort of, the odds were against them, if anything, right? Because they've only got a duo, right? Pixovsky not there. But they take height, and you're thinking, okay, you know, they got a bit of a hold here, but all those mats they invested to take height, you know, the rest of the mats are running thin, so as soon as any trio starts looking up at them, they're not in the best of spots.
Yeah, they're not. And because they don't have a trio, they can't have one player front side looking back at them, making sure that nobody can TP up. So, of course, there was a duo, or a trio, I should say, on the front side.
TrueLex now have to close this out as a duo, while Cringe, Mappy, and Cade are controlling the height.
This is looking so good right now for Mappy, Cade, and Cringe. You can feel the excitement building for our team on the high ground. All the while, though, Chicho, TrueLex just trying to keep the dream alive, and they're not the only ones. Ju as well, fighting it out inside of this congested low ground tiers. Chicho even going to take a moment to fall back, moment to coincide, and find Hyper in the mix of all these builds.
Another one for Chicho, as TrueLex and Chicho continuing to power on through this hill, going up and up and up, taking out player after player, but TrueLex goes down. Chicho left alone now, as there's still 8 players up, 4 trios, 1 shot needing to be connected by Chicho here on the low to pick up another, but the height battle has concluded. Cringe taking out all 3 players. All they need to do is close it out.
They can taste the victory royale.
And then Chicho was kind of holding his own at the end. I thought maybe there's a possible chance that he could do it with his Siphon, but no, of course wasn't to be. But yeah, I noticed the same thing. When that zone, I think it was the 11th or 12th zone that ended up pulling, I think it was the 12th, pulled actually so favorably for them that they didn't have to go over that hill and expend the materials that they didn't have. So really nicely played from those guys. I think they're a shoe-in now to qualify for the Grand Finals in that top 5 consistency, which is nice, but
still 37 players standing in their way, and the trio up above. It's Henry, Finn, Malds. They're looking to close it out.
Robot most definitely just eliminated Atris there. a little bit further from the viewpoint that we had from Vanya, but Zandy, Shark, Jew, this is a team that's looked relatively healthy all throughout the course of this final lobby. They might even look for an opportunity to try and take the high ground. Pixie, gonna be the first one though, to try and find the chop, and immediately, as soon as the chop is confirmed, Pixie cranking upwards.
This is what they need. This could be it for Vanya, Pixie, and Marius. The perfect time now to take the high ground. All they have to do is hold on. They have to make sure they apply pressure to any other trio that's looking to take it from them. And that trio is going to be Haijo, Robin, Trexer. The battle for height begins.
Vanya definitely a little bit beat up at this stage, but Pixie, same could be said for him. In fact, he's gonna get knocked here entirely. Vanya's still trying to hold down the high ground, but he loses Pixie in the process. So many splashes, but that's gonna eliminate the option for a heal off here. Is Vanya trying to reconvene to the front side of next round?
It looks like they're going for all or nothing. It was a disengage to lower mid, or just play it for the high ground retake, as Trexer is going to take down Kenty. That's another elimination on the board for Robin and Haijo's trio, as now they continue to hold on strong in the clouds, tarping forwards.
A full trio is always going to have the best odds when it comes to holding height. Robin doing such a great job now at just spraying to suppress these other layers. Henry 30J caught up in the crossfire even, but Robin, Trexer, Haijo.
Let's take a look at our consistency board and see the other 5 trios who've booked their spot in the Major 1 Grand Finals. And you can see Tazen, Truelex, and Chicho, they had not a great Game 5 mini-minor, but they'd already done enough by this point. They'd gone so close to getting a victory royale, and it's no surprise we're seeing them in the finals.
Yeah, they could chill, they could relax. I think they'd done all the hard work previously. I think it was only the 11th that they had outside of the top 10 in the 4 games prior. So they were just so consistent, doing it exactly as we expected, I should say, in terms of the way that they were going to play it. Surge bases, they were looking pretty strong. They were playing that center of the map. As I said, they did get a few lucky zones in terms of their positioning, but yeah, they could have played from their living room for that last game. It didn't really matter. But nice to see some other big names on there as well. Roban, of course, Force and Fanayan up there as well, another big name. And Robin, Trexer, and Haijo, big clutch from those guys in the last game. I'm not even sure if they would have actually qualified if it wasn't for that last game. So nice to see those guys in there as well.
Yeah, top-notch stuff from them. And you know, from the other 2 teams there who have made now their first Grand Finals, UX Trio, that's the first Grand Finals appearance for all of those guys. And for Vanjkee's trio, right, with Pixovsky, again, a big shout out to Pixovsky, right, because he has been known as like the console GOAT for so long, has made the transition over to playing on PC, and now makes their first Grand Finals as well. The come up has been crazy. Really big congrats to all those guys playing in their first FNCS Grands.
Yeah, it's wicked to see some new names rising to the top, or I should say lesser known.